Hi Capricorn. This is your very belated happy birthday present because you never received it in January. I didn't do individual sign readings in January. I did a pick a card reading, and even on months when I decide to go that direction, which very well may be the rest of the year, we shall see. There's that Ace of Fire again. But even on those months when I do a pick a card, I still want to do, you know, a reading for the birthday signs. So because I never got to yours in January, I didn't get to Aquarius either, and yeah, you're both getting happy birthday readings at the Pisces New Moon. So I hope this is right on time for a lot of you Caps. Let me kill that heater that kicked on real quick. Okay, so one more card for the messages that you need to hear at and surrounding the Pisces New Moon, Capricorns, here at the end of February, February 23rd, 2020, which is tomorrow. I had shuffled and meditated with the cards already for quite some time today, actually, and that's why I was really confident that those first three that popped out were for you already. I've known that it was going to be these two decks. We have the High Priestess on the bottom of the Radiant Rider-Waite. We're also possibly using the Game of Thrones Tarot here for clarifiers if we need them. So if you'd like information about those decks, any of the decks that we use in Lunartics Tarot readings, just check out the description box down below, Caps. Let's see. I always associate this card with Capricorn energy personally. Not surprised to see it there. I'm going to sit with this for just a moment before we talk more about it. Okay, Capricorns. So, it looks like the new moon in Pisces finds you with your eye on the horizon here. You have a certain amount of energy. Is it just your time? Not just your time, but is it time alone, or is it, you know, time and money, other resources in general, etc. It's your wealth, right? It's your energy. So you can see with your eye on the horizon here where you'd like to put it, where you think it belongs, where you think it fits, where maybe for a lot of you, hopefully you think it can grow, just where you think you're supposed to begin. You're ready to invest that energy of yours somewhere. And this new moon in Pisces just takes you to the next level with the Page and then the Knight right afterwards. Just helps you level up. You see that it is a long and steady path, right, to your goal. You know where you're going. You're going to take it slow and steady, and you are going to reach that goal. But you see that it will take some time, some patience, right? And when your ego is quiet and you're not so fixated on how much energy you are investing and how much time it will take that investment to grow, right? To reward you, to pay off, to vindicate you, which are all really egoic matters. They just are, and there's a time and place for them, and you've been considering those things. But then when your ego quiets down, there's a wake-up call coming in with this new moon in Pisces, right at or around this time. The divine is making an offer to you, has is making an offer to you, and it is a burst of creative, passionate inspiration. For some of you, I wonder, is it the same thing as this coin here? Whereas you see it as energy you can invest, is it more so from another perspective, a burst of passionate, creative, even spiritual inspiration, something for you to nurture and birth into the world eventually, right? For some of you it might be, or we might just be talking about wanting to dedicate some of this energy to this inspiration as well. It will be different for each of you specifically, but I do want one clarifier here on this Eight of Pentacles and your more distant outcome. So I'm going to start going about that. It looks like while you're advised to dedicate some energy to this creative, passionate, spiritual burst of inspiration, again, and in your future, you still have your head down working, dedicating a lot of time and energy to long hours, monotonous, repetitive, though necessary, and it looks like legal, rewarding work that allows you to hone and grow your talents. Now, I don't think that utilizing those skills necessarily flies in the face of this advice. For instance, I don't think that it goes against this. I don't think that it means you can't be doing both, but that is why I want a clarifier on what that choice, that action there in the future. So following the Pisces new moon and moving into March, even through Pisces season, okay? For some, it will be different. Time being fluid. I'm sure you know this in all readings. Honestly, in spite of the fact that most readers will talk about, like, you can't do readings that are for a time that's too far away, or not most, but a lot of, or I hear it a lot maybe, stands out to me. But that and time is always fluid, so you can't get too specific with that, and things are subject to change. In spite of all that, I do often like to play with trying to get the timing right, etc. But that's, from a perspective of knowing that that's a portion of me just like playing with it, So at some point I may like try to introduce that a little bit more on here, but have to do it in such a way that I'm clear about that it's not to be relied on. Because there's definitely a reason that a lot talk about, not doing that and not being able to take those things seriously. It's absolutely true that there's so much that can change it. So that's why we won't try to get so specific on that right now. Interesting, another ace. 1-1 may be particularly significant to you. It was the Ace of Water this time as a clarifier here on this Eight of Pentacles. So maybe this is the same thing here. This passionate burst of inspiration is what you see as what you're willing to invest in, or as something that now you can invest with for some of you. But the reason you're advised to follow it could be for a couple of reasons. For some of you, maybe it's because you see how long the road is in front of you. But for a lot of you, it's definitely that in the past, because we've got the past positioned like this next to your advice. In the past, you have allowed your pragmatism, practicality, maybe even pessimism, anticipation of real world, you know, events that could hold you back, obstacles really, and the like, talk you out of following this kind of inspiration. You've cut it down, so to speak. Cut it down, cut it short. Maybe just didn't dedicate, felt you couldn't dedicate enough time and or energy to it. You've got this burst again, and you're really advised to follow it, and reminded that court is in session. It's like the message is, it's being paid attention to now, whether or not you take this opportunity. You've turned it away, you've cut it down, you've either misinterpreted or tried to stifle it, suppress it, talk yourself out of it, again with practicality in the past. And here it looks like this is a new life, a second chance. But that means, you know, it will be paid attention to whether or not you repeat that. And I don't think you do, because I think following this long, slow, steady path towards your goal, where you think your energy is supposed to be on that horizon, supposed to be in the world, I think that path begins with this work that we see here in the future. I think you choose to begin that work, and you see very shortly, if you don't know this already, that not only is that burst of inspiration passionate and creative for you, a creative expression for you, a spiritual expression for you, but it's also an emotional matter and offers you true happiness ultimately, or can, if the seed is continued, if you choose to continue to water the seed, right? If you can choose to continue to nurture this project, I want to say, this work, I want to say, as much as is needed. And then what do we have on the bottom of the clarifier deck now? The Queen of Swords is reversed. So this a lot of times for me is someone who's obsessing over the past a little, fixated on the events that didn't go to their liking in the past. Maybe that's because you already regret having cut yourself short or stifled your own talent in the past. So this could be you being afraid that you're going to make the wrong choices moving forward. Again, some of you, more likely what we're seeing here is this juxtaposition of you really need to follow your intuition, especially now at this time, Pisces season, more so than the pragmatic mind that got you not into trouble, but that led you to turning this type of opportunity down before, if that's the way that it had played out for you in the past. Certainly looks like you were offered this. Maybe some of you didn't even know, because you were so much in your sort of left brain, right? In your logical mind. But it's Pisces season, Mercury's retrograde in Pisces. It's definitely time to be as in tune with your intuition as possible. And, oh, here we go. And definitely be very, very kind on yourself. As far as even your intuition, as well as your pragmatic mind, being misleading at this time, actually leading you toward your intuition, especially retreating into meditation during Mercury retrograde, which won't be over till, I think, what was it, March 10th? I didn't even place it on here yet, but something like that. Mid-March-ish, and then we have that post-shadow period too, of course. But right, so communication, travel, technology, etc. can all be wonky. And can lead us to, reboot things and rejuvenate things, and see the tiny errors, and finally see a time where they have to be fixed if they haven't been already. And it's ultimately a gift, right, for all of those things to be taken care of. So because it's that time where you find yourself starting your work, Capricorns, you want to be easy on yourself about delays, miscommunications, misinterpreting, with it being in Pisces and it being Pisces season now too, maybe even, misinterpreting your own self, let alone others you're working with, etc., right? But also that message here, if you are having concerns of making mistakes again or anything like that, maybe just a couple of you, it's a season in your life and, in general right now, to be listening to your intuition over your pragmatic mind, which is exactly what didn't fall in line last time this was in front of you. So Capricorns, I think we will leave it at that, although I could continue to dig and dig and dig here. I do want to say I see you feeling very much like yourself. That makes sense as you realize that things in your thoughts are going to start manifesting into your reality, your physical reality, in short order, and that this is not only a passion of yours, but as I said, an emotional issue, or not issue, but an emotional reward as well. I think it's work, though, that requires that you open up to others for a lot of you, that you be willing to share a lot of your time with others, in a sense, a lot of your energy with others, in a sense. That can be something, definitely be something that your pragmatic mind has steered you away from. And it's not an option moving forward in this direction with this goal in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit. And it's time for your intuition to lead, as we were saying. So with that, I love you, Caps, and I look forward to doing another reading for you just as soon as possible. I hope that you make the very most of this Pisces New Moon energy, whatever that means for you, whatever moon magic you may do, intentions you may set, what rituals. There was an indication before we began that some of you may have some rituals that are taking place around this time. Maybe that is related to this new moon specifically. So if the reading could offer you any advice on that, maybe some sacral chakra magic, energy work, energy manipulation, inspired ritual, right? Just to keep, everything PG, since we are, everything's monetized. But that could definitely be standing out as a piece of advice for what to do around the new moon, if you're looking for something like that, or if you're looking for something extra to add to your ritual, or different type of ritual to do around this time. So that said, yeah, we will end there, Caps, and I should be back with March readings for everyone very soon.